In 1896, Swami Vivekananda sat with Nikola Tesla in New York and described two Sanskrit concepts that Tesla had been trying to name with his instruments for years. Prana, the life force that animates all matter, energy, frequency, vibration, and Akasha, the field in which prana moves, the substrate of all existence, the medium that carries every vibration in the universe. Tesla recognized both immediately. Quantum field theory, published 40 years after their meeting, confirmed what Vivekananda described that afternoon in two Sanskrit words. When Vivekananda met Tesla in New York in 1896, it was not a casual introduction. Vivekananda had specifically sought out Tesla because he believed Tesla's electrical experiments were the closest modern science had come to demonstrating the Vedic understanding of physical reality. After the meeting, Vivekananda wrote to a friend, "Mr. Tesla thinks he can demonstrate mathematically that force and matter are reducible to potential energy. I am to go see him next week to get this mathematical demonstration. In that case, the Vedantic cosmology will be placed on the surest of foundations. I am working a good deal now upon the cosmology and eschatology of the Vedanta. I clearly see their perfect union with modern science." Perfect union with modern science, written in 1896, 40 years before quantum field theory existed. What was the cosmology Vivekananda was describing? What exactly did he tell Tesla that afternoon? About the nature of physical reality? He told him about Akasha, before the physics, what Akasha is not. Akasha is not the sky, though it is sometimes translated that way. Akasha is not empty space. Empty space, in the Vedic framework, is not empty. Akasha is not ether in the outdated 19th century physics sense. Tesla used the word ether in his own writings as the closest available English approximation, but ether implied a mechanical medium with physical properties. Akasha is prior to physical properties. Akasha is the field substrate, the omnipresent, undifferentiated ground from which all matter, all energy, all space, and all time arise and into which they return. The Chandogya Upanishad states it precisely. All beings arise from Akasha. All beings return to Akasha. Akasha is greater than all these. Akasha is the beginning. Akasha is the end. Tesla wrote in his notebook after the meeting, "All matter comes from a primary substance, the luminiferous ether, thrown into infinitesimal vortices of varying degrees of tenuity." He was translating Akasha into the language of 19th century physics. The translation was imperfect, but the understanding was exact. The Vedic tradition describes reality through 5 elements. The Pancha Mahabhuta, not in the Western sense of earth, water, fire, air, but as 5 levels of manifestation from the subtlest to the grossest. At the subtlest level, Akasha, the field substrate. From Akasha arises Vayu movement, vibration, the first dynamic. From Vayu arises Tejas, radiant energy, heat, light. From Tejas arises Apas, cohesion, the binding force. From Apas arises Prithvi, solidity, the densest state of matter. This is a precise hierarchy from field to matter. Akasha is not one element among 5. It is the ground from which all 4 others emerge, the field before the fields. And prana, the life force from the previous video, is the first vibration of Akasha, the first movement of the field, the first excitation. In quantum field terms, Akasha is the unified quantum field. Prana is the first quantum excitation of that field. The relationship between them is the relationship between the quantum vacuum and the virtual particles that arise within it. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad composed approximately 700 BCE, describes Akasha with 4 properties that quantum field theory would independently identify. 26 centuries later. Ananta, infinite. No boundary, no edge, no outside. Vibhu, omnipresent. Equally present at every point in space simultaneously. No location more saturated with Akasha than any other. Nitya, eternal, prior to time as well as space. Akasha does not exist within time. Time arises within Akasha. Chit conscious, aware, not inert, not mechanical. The field is not a passive substrate that consciousness observes from outside. The field is aware. These 4 properties, infinite, omnipresent, eternal, conscious, are the 4 properties that every theoretical physicist working on the unified field theory implicitly assumes the unified field must have. Einstein searched for the first 3. Max Planck, David Bohm, and John Wheeler concluded the 4th was also necessary. Tesla's notebooks from 1896 to 1900, the years immediately following the Vivekananda meeting, show a marked shift in how he described his own work. Before the meeting, Tesla described his experiments in the language of classical electromagnetism: fields, forces, currents, resistances. After the meeting, he began describing his work. In terms of the underlying field, electric power is everywhere present in unlimited quantities and can drive the world's machinery without the need of coal, oil, or any other fuel. Unlimited quantities, everywhere present. These are descriptions of Akasha, not of electrical engineering. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This is the Vedic hierarchy: prana as vibration, Akasha as the field, rendered in 12 English words. Vivekananda had given Tesla the framework. Tesla spent the rest of his life building instruments to detect it. In 1927, 31 years after the Vivekananda-Tesla meeting, Paul Dirac published the first complete quantum field theory. Its core proposition was revolutionary. The universe is not made of particles in empty space. The universe is made of fields, omnipresent fields that permeate all of space simultaneously. Particles are not objects. They are excitations of an underlying field. An electron is not a tiny ball. It is a localized vibration in the electron field. A photon is a vibration in the electromagnetic field. And beneath all the individual quantum fields, physicists believe, is a single unified field from which all others arise as different modes of vibration. Omnipresent, the source of all matter, prior to all phenomena. Ananta, Vibhu, Nitya, infinite, omnipresent, eternal. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad's description of Akasha, written in 700 BCE, is a precise description of the unified quantum field that Dirac began formulating in 1927. The most important confirmation of Akasha in modern physics is not the unified field theory. It is the quantum vacuum. The quantum vacuum is what physicists call the ground state, the state of minimum energy, of the quantum field. It is not empty. The quantum vacuum seethes with activity. Virtual particles constantly arise and annihilate, borrowing energy from the field, briefly becoming real and returning. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle forbids true emptiness. Energy can never be exactly zero. The field is always active, even in its quietest state. The Chandogya Upanishad: all beings arise from Akasha and return to Akasha. Particles arise from the quantum vacuum and return to the quantum vacuum. Virtual particles arise from the ground state of the quantum field and return to it. Akasha is not a philosophical concept. It is a description of the quantum vacuum, written 2,600 years before the quantum vacuum was measured. In 1948, Dutch physicist Hendrik Casimir predicted an effect that would directly confirm the activity of the quantum vacuum. Place two uncharged metal plates very close together in a vacuum, with nothing between them, no particles, no fields, nothing. They should feel no force. But they do. They are pushed together by a measurable force, generated by the activity of the quantum vacuum, in the space between them. The Casimir effect was experimentally confirmed in 1997. It proves that what we call empty space is a seething field of infinite potential activity. The Vedic tradition had a name for this. They called it Akasha, and they described it 2,600 years before Casimir calculated the force it generates between two metal plates. Let us place the Upanishad's four properties of Akasha beside what quantum field theory has confirmed about the unified field. Ananta, infinite. The quantum field has no boundary, no outside. All of space is permeated by the quantum field equally. Vibhu, omnipresent. The quantum field is equally present at every point in space. There is no location where the field is absent. Nitya, eternal. The quantum field is prior to time. Space-time itself arises from the quantum field. The field does not exist within time. Chit conscious, the open question, the hard problem of consciousness. What quantum mechanics cannot yet resolve. What Max Planck called the fundamental ingredient. What the Upanishad stated as an axiom. 3 of 4 properties confirmed by experiment. The fourth, the most important, still debated, but pointed at consistently by the physicists who followed the physics, all the way to its logical conclusion. The Vedic tradition did not describe Akasha as something remote, a cosmic backdrop too vast to be relevant to daily life. They described it as the subtlest component of the human body itself. The spaces within the body, the hollow chambers of the heart, the space within the skull, the space within every cell, are described in the Upanishads as Chidakasha, the Akasha of consciousness, the field within the individual that connects directly to the field of the cosmos. The Chandogya Upanishad, the space that is here within the heart, that space is as vast as the space outside. Both the heaven and the earth are contained within it, both fire and air, both sun and moon. Whatever is and whatever is not, all of it is contained in that space within the heart. The space within the heart is vast as the cosmos, not metaphor, instruction. The Akasha within you connects to the Akasha of the universe through the same field that quantum field theory describes, as permeating all of space, including the space within every cell. Modern biophysics has confirmed that living systems generate coherent electromagnetic fields that extend beyond the physical body. HeartMath Institute research confirmed the heart generates an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than the brain, extending 3 to 4 feet beyond the body. Researcher Fritz Albert Popp at the International Institute of Biophysics documented what he called biophotons, coherent light emissions from living cells that propagate through the body as a quantum light field. Russian biophysicist Alexander Gurwitch first described what he called the morphogenetic field, a biological organizing field that precedes physical structure. 3 independent research streams, all pointing at a field within and around the biological body that has properties Akasha would predict. The Vedic tradition called the individual expression of this field pranamaya kosha, the energy body, the subtlest physical layer of the self, the interface between individual consciousness and the cosmic Akasha. Before the practice, a brief observation. Right now, notice the space in which this moment is occurring. Not the content of the moment, the space itself. the awareness that is receiving these words. The Upanishads say that awareness right now is the same field that the quantum vacuum is a physical expression of. Not a metaphor, not a philosophical position, a direct description of the relationship between the awareness you are and the field the universe is made of. Here is what the Vivekananda-Tesla meeting was really about. Tesla wanted to harness the field, to extract energy from the ambient electromagnetic medium to power the world without fuel. Vivekananda was pointing at something more fundamental. He was saying the field you want to harness and the awareness that is trying to harness it are the same thing. Tat tvam asi, you are that. The Akasha you are attempting to measure with instruments is what you are when you are not identified with the contracted sense of being a separate body and mind. Tesla heard the physics. The full depth of what Vivekananda was pointing at may have been beyond what Tesla was looking for. He was looking for an energy source. Vivekananda was pointing at the source of the one who was looking. The Mundaka, Upanishad, Brahman the Akasha shines forth, vast, self-luminous, inconceivable, subtler than the subtle. It is farther than the farthest, and yet here, very near. It is hidden in the cave of the heart of conscious beings. Farther than the farthest, and here, very near, the quantum field extending to the edge of the observable universe and present in the space within this heartbeat. Tesla was trying to access the far end. The Upanishads were pointing at the near end, the same field, approached from opposite directions. We are going to do the Akasha meditation now, the practice the Upanishads prescribe for directly recognizing the field within the heart as identical to the field of the cosmos. Sit comfortably, spine upright if possible. Close your eyes. Take one slow breath in through the nose. And release completely. Let the body settle into stillness. Bring attention to the space within the chest, not the heartbeat, not the breath, the space itself, the hollow space within the chest cavity. Simply notice it. Now gently allow that space to expand, not physically. In awareness, allow the boundary of the space within the chest to gently dissolve outward so that the inner space and the outer space become one continuous field. The Upanishad says, the space within the heart is as vast as the space outside. Let that be not a concept, but a direct noticing. Rest in that space. Let the breath return to its natural rhythm. Notice what remains. The Vedics called this Akasha. Tesla called it the luminiferous ether. Quantum field theory calls it the unified field. One field, three names, present right now as the space in which this moment is arising. Take one final slow breath. And gently return. Next, on Quantum Gnosis, the letter Tesla wrote to Vivekananda after that afternoon. What it reveals about exactly where his physics stopped and where the Vedic understanding went further. Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. The field is not something you access. It is something you are. Ancient wisdom, quantum proof, direct knowing. This is quantum gnosis.